looks really, really great. Wow. Hello darlings. You know, all makeup artists, especially celebrity makeup artists, have their own secrets, but let's use them in just one makeup. Ariel Tejada mixes oil and foundation. I will use the stick foundation, that's why first I will apply the oil and then the foundation itself. That's oil from the Body Shop, just several drops, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll use some wet sponge to fix it. And I'm gonna use Hourglass foundation stick in Ivory. If you need some more foundation, don't be shy, just use it where you need it, because it's always better to use many thin layers than to use one thick. Estee Lauder director takes the foundation off the nose. She thinks that if you're talking to a person from the short distance and he doesn't see the foundation on your nose, that's the closest part to him, the closest point, then he considers that you have no foundation at all. Okay, you don't touch the areas around the nose, just the tip. My favorite makeup artist ever, Eldridge, uses her pinpoint technique. She applies the concealer with the tiniest brush to the red spots and then she gets the perfect coverage. That's the concealer from the balm. You give just several minutes to settle and then you can blend it with a finger. Wait for a sec and then you can blend. And let's do the concealer underneath the eyes. That's actually the tip of Charlotte Tilbury. She very often uses her fingers to mix the foundation, to do some sort of concealing, because this way she stimulates the skin. By the way, speaking of concealing, Nikki Merz applies the concealer to the corners of the lips to make them look more happy and more raised. By the way, the advice from Cameron Diaz's makeup artist. Just apply some eye drops to these swollen and red spots. They will become less swollen and the redness will disappear. John Bonnet uses two highlighters, the creamy one and the powder one. And the key is not in the amount of product, but in different textures. I'm gonna use the creamy highlighter from the Body Shop and the powder one from the Hourglass. And I will use the creamy one before the powder and the powder one afterwards. And one more advice from Ariel Tejada. He uses the interesting way of contouring. First, he uses some sort of baking underneath the eyes, underneath the cheekbones, and then he does the contouring and then he takes off the powder. That's why the borders are not visible and the products mix really well. For baking, I'm gonna use Hourglass Veil powder and wet sponge. For contouring, I'm gonna use this bronzer from the Balm in shade Bahama Mama. It's well, bronzer, but it's okay for contouring because it's matte. Don't change your natural lines with contouring. Follow them, but don't change them. Okay, and we take off the excess of powder. This way we blend two products. Looks really great. Wow. And I think that's the time to use the second layer of powder highlighter. I'm gonna use Hourglass Ghost palette. And we repeat the areas where we used creamy highlighter. And I'm gonna use the same palette for blush. James Vincent uses two shades of blush, the peachy one onto the top parts for the volume, for the plumping effect, and the rosy one for the apples of the cheeks. This shade is more rosy, more pinky, and this one is more peachy. Okay, the apples. And the peachy one for the top. The devices are really simple and they are so easy to do, and I don't know why I didn't do this before. They really work. Finally, we move to the eyes and we'll use Rihanna's technique. She uses dark eyeshadow underneath the eyes and she blends it to the temples, so to create this cat eye look. I will use Charlotte Tilbury's palette. I take the darkest one, the matte one, and I start to follow my lash line underneath. And I want to follow this the same line with the brighter color. First I do everything with the darker shade, the matte darker shade, and then I will follow it again with the bright one. And I will use the light shimmery color. And I need more intense dark color underneath. Illamasqua pencil along the waterline, and then I blend it. Okay, so the next part is fake lashes. We'll use Charlotte Tilbury's technique. She uses 2 or 3 or even 4 mascaras. They all have different effects: volumizing, lengthening, lifting, and so on. I will use 2 mascaras. The first one from VIVIENNE SABO, it's volumizing one, and from THEBALM it's lengthening one. Don't forget the lower lashes and the second one. It's really like fake lashes. Wow. And finally, the lips. First advice from Beyonce: to apply some amount of eye cream onto your lips. It softens, it works as a primer, and it doesn't change the texture of the lipstick. It's perfect for matte lips. Now J Law's trick. She darkens the area over the top lip and underneath the lower lip. we'll use nude lipstick. And the advice from Susie Gerstein is to use some red lipstick over the nude one if it's too light. Red lipstick livens up the look. So that's it, our celebrity makeup look using all the best secrets of celebrity makeup artists. I hope you like it. I definitely like it. I think that these advice are so simple, so cool and so easy to do. So subscribe to my channel and bye bye.